Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am, and I have a special guest. A debut for a man by the name of Jack Sutherland. Have I got that right?
Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll start again. Jack Sunderland.
And it's not John, as Dave keeps calling me.
It's Jack, not John. Right, okay, so both the White Rhino and myself have made a slip-up. Apologies.
Like the Mickey Taker.
Okay, John Sutherland, isn't he an actor?
I've no idea. It's what Dave's grandma called me once, so that's it now. I'm called John all the time. You know what he's like.
Well, welcome to Bayloric TV and welcome to the Bayloric family. As you know, Bayloric have done extensive interviews with one, David Allen. I think we've done more interviews, as many more interviews than he's had fights. Actually, it's well documented across YouTube. So today we're speaking to his strength and conditioning trainer. Am I correct?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Okay, you introduce yourself. You tell us a little bit more about you then.
So Jack Sunderland. Basically, I'm a personal trainer. I used to box myself for the same manager that Dave was with, so that's how I know him.
Right.
He sort of just started with Dave. Just started with McMarzen. As I were sort of finishing up, I was just going back and sparring with the lads. So when Dave first started, that's what I was doing. I was just still in the gym. And then I started with this job. And obviously Dave was struggling for a trainer, so he got in touch with me to keep him fit while he's living in Leeds and does his boxing work over in Doncaster with Steffi Bull through the week.
Right. So that's how you guys got together, basically.
Yeah. We were mates really, and then like I say, he just rang me one day out of blue. I was a bit surprised by it, asking me to train him, but it was a big step for me. It didn't take much thinking about.
So how does it make you feel now training a guy who's going to be on Sky Sports on Saturday?
All right, I'm proud of him, and I hope he does well. But like he keeps saying, it's just the first of many. I think Dave's going to do really well as long as he keeps his head on it, like he has done over this last 6 weeks. I've been well impressed with him at gym. I couldn't have asked any more of him. So as long as he keeps it up, and I'll make sure he's straight back on it after this fight. There'll be no waiting around.
So what is he like to train? I mean, I've heard from the man himself. I've just finished talking to his manager, Steffi Bull. Now I'm asking you, who've done some training with him as well, what's he like to work with? Is he a different character? Is he easy to work with?
He's a different character, you know. He's a bit of a joker, is Dave. You'll see on interviews, I'm sure you know yourself.
Absolutely.
He's a fun guy. We have a really good laugh, but when he's training, he's focused. You never get any answering back. Anyway, he gets on with his work. He's an hard grafter, and that was the main thing for me. Obviously, I'm busy myself, so when he asked me to train him, I needed to know he was serious. So the first few sessions did it for me. I knew his head were on it. I just had to keep him there, keep him focused.
Because there were rumours flying around at one point about Dave not being focused or not being dedicated or not being as hard working as he should be. Now you, who've worked with him, are saying quite the opposite. So where do you think those stories originally came from?
Well, I think he has been. I think you might admit to yourself that in the past he probably has coasted through his training and he's coasted through easy fights, but this might have been a bit of a kick up the arse, really. With a title fight, Central Area, it's a big thing. So he needed to prove himself as well on Sky Sports. It's time for him to do it now, and there's no more messing about. It's a big fight on Saturday.
Obviously, we've both joked about him fighting for the Central Area Championship of the World. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, we talked about it plenty. Yeah.
So now, obviously, there's a change of opponent.
Yeah.
From your side of things, what has changed in terms of now Dave having to fight a guy who's shorter, a southpaw, better boxer? What's your input on this? What are your thoughts on it all?
Well, it's just through experience of his sparring, really. You know, from my point of view, I've done it. Obviously, his fitness and his strength. I know he's there and he's on point with all that. The boxing side of it, I fully believe in Dave's ability to adapt, to be honest. I don't think it'll be phasing him whatsoever. Well, I know it when I've spoke to him about it. It don't bother him. I don't think I don't think it'd matter who we were fighting. To Dave, it's just another opponent.
There were some things he really did compliment. He spoke about feeling fitter and stronger than he's ever felt before, and doing things he's never done before.
Yeah.
Without giving away too much, what are the sort of things that you've kind of given Dave Allen 2015, which he may not have been doing beforehand?
Well, for me, it's no offence to anyone, but I think a lot of boxing trainers are sort of stuck in a bit in the old school, and obviously there's more of a science behind training. I don't know. I like to think you look after your fighter better. You give them hard sessions, you give them easy sessions. They've got to recover, and it's planning his training around his boxing training, so he won't go too hard. You know, if he's got a boxing session at night or something like that. In terms of his strength, Dave's got a lot of natural, like raw strength, and I haven't had long enough to work with him yet to really improve on that. I just think it's giving him a little bit of a confidence in his head, thinking that he's strong. And you know, obviously we've done a lot of strength work with his training, but we haven't been together long enough to really have an effect. And I think you'll really see it maybe 6 months' time with more work. But in terms of natural strength, he's pushing weights around that people take months and months to train, up to even years. And he's just very strong. He really is.
Yeah, bull-like almost. Even Peter Few paid testament to that. Said he's very, very strong physically. Very strong.
Yeah, he is. He's a very strong man. And when you take him on the pads, you know, you can really feel his shots.
Right. Other things. Him going out to work in Marbella. I mean, how did that work out for yourself? And did you go with him to Marbella?
No, I stayed over. To be honest, I'd only been with Dave 3 or 4 weeks at that point, so it were all still quite new to me, and I've only just recently started doing a little bit with Steffi Bull over in Doncaster. So, it were all his boxing work over there anyway.
Right.
He were doing all his sparring with his fitness, so it were good for him really to get away from gym and to get away from the strength work to do his boxing work. It good for his body.
Now, one of the things I hear a lot of are the argument for strength and conditioning trainers.
Yeah.
And, well, in Muhammad Ali's time, he never had a strength and conditioning trainer.
Yeah, I know.
Or then you have the other side of it is, what's this guy? Alex Ariza. Everyone talks about Alex Ariza, strength and conditioning. Yeah. And, you know, the case study would be Manny Pacquiao and the Magic Juice. So you've got different spectrums. So from what end of the spectrum do you come from, and and when you hear that sort of stuff, how do you see it, Jack?
Well, personally, I do think it's important for a fighter because, like I said, Dave's been training, you know, two times a day. So you've got to split your training. So he gets his strength and his fitness with me. Then he does his boxing work with Steffi Bull. So I do think it's very important because the old school boxers will have probably done long runs on a morning and then done the boxing work, or the other way around. And you know, you're not training for a run, are you? You know, you're training for a fight, and it's been mentally prepared. He does the odd run, but we don't have him doing it every day.
Right.
I don't know really. In terms of the Magic Juice, that's other people's take on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, another thing is as well, I'm not all about hammering people either. You know, like you get some trainers that just want to just smash the boxers out, but it's no good really. He's got to be ready for his sparring and his pad work and his boxing work. So it's just taking things steady and building him up. That's my take really.
Now there are other preconceived ideas that I've seen a lot of, and I know that are no-nos, but I just want to hear what you've got to say about it. Boxers that go in the gym and just push heavy weights suddenly mean they're going to be, because they're bigger, they're going to be stronger. Clearly, I'm sure you have more experience in that area.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, through lifting weights, it could be stronger in, you know, like the clinch or something like that, but you might make your punch 1 or 2% stronger. But the main thing with Dave, where we're getting his weight down and making him faster, because he's got that raw strength already. So with speed, it comes more power, and a lot of people have that natural punch, and you can train it slightly, but you can lift as much weights as you want. You can do that all day long, but it doesn't make. If you're a natural puncher, you're a natural puncher, and Dave's got that. This weight training, it's gonna. I've said to him, I want him to be able to hit as hard as he can for the full fight without getting tired, and that's what his training. That's what his training is based around. To want him to be able to do that concussive punching that he does for the full fight.
Yep. And the other thing is diet. Because strength and conditioning is one thing, and getting him in shape and getting him down weight. And then Dave's had the old habit of, liking his sweets and stuff. How do you, and Nando's, which is one that I can say that I used to have a real fetish for until I became a veggie. And now, obviously, now Nando's is just chips and pieces of corn now. How do you control that in Dave?
Well, it's up to him, isn't it? I say this to everybody who I train. I'm with you there in the gym, but outside the gym, you've got to be dedicated. I'd give him little pointers on what to do, but that's another thing over a long period of time. I can give him more advice, and it's a matter of educating people. Dave knows bits now, but there's still a long way to go with it. He's got the promise of a carvery after this fight, so I'll treat him to a carvery he will win. So.
Wow. And
I think that's kept him focused.
Absolutely. And today, are you a big boxing fan? Are you just a guy? They're different people. Some people are really huge into boxing. They're just in it because it's an opportunity to make a living in that sport. And because some people are like, well, I'd rather work with athletes than boxers. Or are you one of these guys who really love boxing and it's quite an opportunity to be working with Dave? What's your standpoint?
Yeah. I do love boxing, and the main obviously I box myself.
Yes.
The main reason why I started doing the job I'm doing was to help boxers, and because I think there's got to be a better way of making weight for the lads. I don't agree with a lot of ways that it's done. There's got to be a healthier way to be stronger on the night, and that's one of my goals when I first started. I do want to help fighters make weight correctly. Obviously, it's same again. You're not with everybody all the time, but that's why one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Yeah, I'm a big boxing fan, and through boxing myself, I know it were hard to drop the weight. While obviously doing all your boxing work and stuff like that, it's stressful times. So if you can have somebody on board who can take that little bit of stress away from you, then I hope that I can achieve that with a bit of work.
Heavyweights you're training, there also is another misconception that because you're a big guy, you don't have to lose as much weight. I hear a lot of boxers say that, but then I've seen heavyweights coming in disgusting shape. So talk to us about that.
There's different body types. There is that to look at as well. But like I said, Dave is, he has been a big guy in the past, but when you look at him now, he's in great shape. But that's what he's done over the last maybe 2 months, 6 weeks, 2 months. I think when they're coming in so overweight, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're dedicated enough to the training. I'm not putting anybody down,
But you do question. It's natural to question that because you're thinking, well, if you're a professional athlete, surely you want to keep yourself in good nick or roundabout good nick.
Of course. When I fought, I admit I used to put on weight between fights, but that's because I used to lose it, a ridiculous amount. So I'd gain it back. I'd go off enjoying beer and food and what have you. So there's I can imagine it'd be even harder for the heavyweights because they're naturally bigger guys. They're going to put weight on faster. A few stone to them is nothing really. But I just don't think it looks professional. And there's, you look at the old timers like you mentioned earlier. Muhammad Ali and whatever, they used to come in ripped to shreds, didn't they? There's no reason why heavyweights can't do that now. And Klitschko shows that, doesn't he?
Totally.
And Anthony was showing it as well. And Dave Allen will be showing it.
Absolutely. Finally, you do have something that's very unique about you in boxing. Dave actually showed it to me. It was you were involved in a double knockdown. Now, a double knockdown.
I was wondering what he was going to be showing you today. I got a little bit worried then.
Talk to me about it. That's it. To watch it is one thing, but to be a part of it, this is a first for me to talk to somebody who's been involved in a double knockdown.
Yeah, obviously it didn't end well because I got beat, but yeah, we both landed left hooks at the same time and both ended up on floor. I can remember doing it and I got knocked down. And I thought, oh no, I am. Oh no, and I looked over into the ring and he was on floor as well. Yeah, it was a bit mad. Good fight though.
I was saying today, I was watching it, guys. I bet you it's going to be the left hook here. It's going to be the left hook. I see the other guy load up. I see you going to load up as well. I said it's going to be the left hook. And bang, and going down. I'm like, wow.
Well, what a good fight though. When I watch it back now, it was a good scrap. I wish I'd have had more experience and dealt with it better, but it's one of them things, isn't it?
But to be part of a double knockdown, that's still something pretty rare.
Yeah. I mean, it's had plenty of views as well.
So that's not a bad thing. So, Jack, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. We wish you and Dave all the best for this weekend, obviously. Yeah. And we want to be talking to you more because I think there's going to be loads of questions as all boxing fans have got in terms of fitness and training. How do people contact you?
I've got my Facebook page is probably the best way, or Twitter. My Facebook's facebook.com/Jack Personal Trainer. And then my Twitter's just @JJSuddy, SUDDY. So I'm always open to questions because it helps me learn as well. If there's things that come across that I don't know, I'm willing to talk about it all day long.
Finally, congratulations to being with Dave Allen. I think you've got potentially one of the best heavyweights in the world right with you.
Yeah, mate. Let's hope so. He's got the ability, so...
Absolutely. All the best on Saturday night.
I want to say thanks to you as well, Ingram, because you're doing a good job at promoting him. I don't think you realise how much it helps. It's hard for a fighter to sell tickets.
Really? Yeah. I mean, from your end, what do you see?
What, with you?
Yeah, not so much me, but what the effect of it on the other end, because I don't see because I'm based in Ireland at the moment, I don't get to see any of this stuff.
No, well, as a fighter, it's hard, because obviously, from Dave's point of view, he's got to lose his weight, he's training hard, all your focus is on your training, but you do have to sell tickets as a professional fighter, and you know that. Yes. So were you obviously doing these interviews and stuff, it's a great help for him, because it puts it out there.
Jack, I appreciate that, and thank you again for talking to Bayloric TV.
Always. All right, mate.
All the best. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.